Hey, good morning, and welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I am your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince, and hopefully you're having a good Wednesday. It is middle of the week. We're halfway through this weekend. Halloween is tomorrow as of this recording. If you're listening to in the future, hello, future people. Halloween is up and about, and I wanted to talk about another creature because apparently the Fiend Folio is the crazy monsters, as people love, and wanted to hear more from the Fiend Folio. I did one yesterday, the Fiend Folio, and people were like, more Fiend Folio! So I'll give you more Fiend Folio. Anyway, ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Theevildm.com is my website where you can sign up for the newsletter. You can support me by going to buymeacoffee.com/theevildm. With that all out of the way, let's go back to the Fiend Folio, and we're going to skip to page 96. We're going to talk about a weird creature here. Well, everything in this book is pretty much weird. But this one, I don't know who thought this one up, and it's a Xill. They're very rare. There's only 1 to 6 appearing at once. Armor class is 0. Movement is 15. Hit dice is 5. 15% chance in layer. Treasure is C. Tax 4. 1d4, 1d4, 1d4. Or if they have a weapon in each hand, which they can use to attack. They have special attacks and special defenses. Their magic resistance is 70%, but there is a caveat with that. Intelligence is vary. Alignment is lawful evil, medium size, psionic ability nil, and its level XP value is 325 plus 5 per hit point over the actual hit points. So these Xill are weird creatures that they are bipedal flame red creatures with short, powerful bodies and 4 arms, all of which can wield weapons simultaneously. If unarmed, they fight with 4 claws, doing 1d4 hit points of damage each. The high dexterity of the Xill not only accounts for its low armor class, natural AC is 4, but also gives the creature a hit probability of bonus of 3 when attacking, or plus 5 with missiles attacks. So the Xill, this is where it gets interesting with the Xill. The Xill has an apparently only one aim or one goal in life, and that is to produce young. The creatures are asexual and reproduce by producing eggs, which when they produce an egg, must gain substance prior to hatching. So they implant the eggs inside of a living human or near human that they try to snatch while the victim is alive. Yeah, you heard me. They lay eggs inside of a human body or near human to grow and eat the person from the inside out. And that's how they mature and burst out of the actual body. So it gets better. The Xill have an innate power of etherealness. They may transfer from the ethereal plane, where they actually exist and live, to the prime material plane in one segment of 6 seconds. But the reverse process takes 2 melee rounds to get back. So a Xill will usually initiate an attack by emerging suddenly from the ethereal plane near its chosen victim, achieving surprise 90% of the time. In attacking, it will use 2 of its arms to attempt to grapple its victim, while using the other 2, which might carry a weapon, to subdue. The subduing attacks are resolved in the same way attacks are to subdue a dragon. Upon announcement of intent to strike with subdue, all hit points scored by attacks on the victim from the 2 subduing arms are considered non-fatal battering bruising damage. Each melee round, the following fraction is calculated: total number of subdual hit points scored versus total number of hit points of the victim. So, for example, if this round, after they batter the person, they do 12 points of damage, and the target only has 20, that means when you're rolling for this, which the result is converted into percentage, the creature has a 60% chance of subduing your character or the character. So once you score the damage, you roll this percentage. If you get under that 60%, if it did the 12 points of damage, you'd be subdued. Percentile dice are rolled to determine the result of the scores less than or equal to the percentage derived. the victim is subdued, like I just said. The grappling attacks are normal. Both grappling arms must score a hit for the grab to be successful. Otherwise, it is assumed that the victim has been able to avoid the being grappled. However, if the victim has previously been subdued, the grappling attacks will always succeed in the next round. So if he spends time and he catches you off guard, tries to grab you, but you get away. So if he decides he's just going to do subdual damage on you and he just pounds you into the ground and you pass out because of being subdued, he just grapples you and takes you away. If the Xill succeeds in grappling a victim, it will then inject a paralyzing fluid into his bloodstream through its claws. Normal saving throws apply in the next melee round. Victims grappled thus have one melee round to break free before the fluid is injected, and they may attempt to do so by saving against strength. A d20 is rolled, and if the result is lower than the victim's strength, he has escaped from the clutches of the Xill. So here we go with an attribute check, again referenced here when you can save versus strength. d20 is rolled, so we have that. In summary, the Xill attempts to grapple and paralyze a victim or subdue and grapple him. Once either of these results has been achieved, it will attempt to become ethereal, and its power to do so will extend to its paralyzed, subdued victim and carry the victim to its lair in the ethereal plane to inject its eggs inside of him. During this 2 melee round transition period, when the Xill and its victim are turning ethereal, the Xill cannot move and is vulnerable to magic, i.e., its magic resistance is reduced to 0 when it had 70% before, and can be hit by weapons at -3 probability now. When the transition is complete, however, the creature can only be attacked ethereally, and its normal magic resistance is restored. If it attacked in its lair on the ethereal plane, the first priority of the Xill will be to save and protect its young and to remove any egg-bound prisoners to a safe place, only then attacking the invaders. The Xill hatch after 1 to 4 days in the victim's stomach. For the next 2 to 8 days, the larvae collectively inflict 11 to 20 points of damage on the victim per day as they mature, and then they emerge from the victim, killing him instantly. As 2 to 6 small Xill will grow rapidly in 1 to 4 hours into full-size creature. Protection from evil will always succeed on either plane in warding a Xill off. So, this creature pops up behind you, or your character, I should say, in the prime material plane and grabs you and either tries to batter you with its weapons, or if it has you in a solid grapple, tries to paralyze you with its claws by scratching you. Either one it'll do. And then it will try to phase into its ethereal plane and bring you back and inject you with eggs, however they do that. I'm glad they didn't tell us how. But as you kind of are paralyzed there, it doesn't actually say what happens once it injects you with eggs, but I'm assuming that once you're paralyzed, or you're subdued, and then he injects you with these eggs. I'm assuming that you are still paralyzed somehow, and you can't move. And these eggs grow inside your body, and they start eating you from the inside out. So every day you're in constant pain until it's time for it to bust out of your body and kill you instantly, if you've survived the 11 to 20 hit points of damage per day as they're maturing. Imagine that life of your character in that cave for this disgusting creature who basically took you and used you as a fertilizing factory and implanted eggs in you, and they're growing inside you, eating you from the inside out, and they burst out of you, killing you instantly. That's the last couple of days of your life with this creature, the Xill. I don't know who came up with this creature, but it's kind of disgusting in a sense. And I have to wonder, what did they watch the Aliens movie when they did this? I mean, the Alien movie, excuse me, when they did this? Was this a reference to Alien because of the creatures burrowing inside, growing, and then bursting out of you? That's what it looks like to me. Oh, the red creature type thing does throw me off. Not quite sure where they got the whole it's only on the ethereal plane and comes here to just snatch victims, and their only goal in life is just to reproduce. So what other purpose does this creature serve other than to torture a group? Just like any other monster in this book, it doesn't make a lot of sense, some of them. And this creature, I'm not sure I would probably use this creature because I think it's a little harsh. I'm thinking if the creature pops up behind a certain person, they're going to be by themselves, or the creature is going to make sure that this person is separated when the party is around, or maybe it's somebody on watch so they can get a surprise on them and then take them to the plane before the party wakes up, because trying to paralyze them or subdue them, I would probably go for paralyzing first, especially if it's in a camp situation and you're on watch. I have them appear right behind you, get surprise attack, grapple with both hands, and then scratch for paralyzation, and then phase out all before the party wakes up from any noise whatsoever. And this person is lost, because once you're paralyzed or subdued and phased into the next plane, you're pretty much dead. There's no way of getting out of this situation, because once you get implanted with the eggs, it doesn't tell you how to get the eggs out of you. I would assume some type of maybe wish, or I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. If you were fertilized with these eggs and the party figures out a way to get to the plane to find this creature, to attack and kill this creature, and to get to you, you're paralyzed with these eggs inside of you. So I'm guessing, I don't know. You tell me in the comments how you would get out of this situation, because I think once this whole process starts, you're pretty much dead. It says protection of evil will always succeed on either plane, and warding off a Xill. Would casting protection from evil delay the growth of the eggs until you could figure out a way to get rid of these eggs with maybe a limited wish spell, or maybe even restoration or something? I don't know. It's a good question. Something I really never thought of, because I've never wanted to use this creature, because I always thought it was weird. What you tell me in the comments. All right, I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless, and keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night.